Hey, how's it going, guys? My name is Cameron, and I'm the host of Starting Small, and these are my podcast essentials. We all start small. So to start this video out, I'm not going to go into the detail of each of these descriptions and essentials that I use, but these are just essentially what I use to edit my podcast, what a podcaster should have, and so on. So you can go and see products that you like, but these are the products that I personally use for my podcast. All right, so to start out with the basics, you have to have a microphone that can pick up good audio, good clear audio, because if you have listeners out there listening to your audio, they want something pleasing to their ear, because with podcasts, they typically listen with their commute, their workout, or whatever. So I have a Rode Podcaster microphone. What's nice about this is it's USB, so it's plugged into my computer right now. It's only one input into my computer. There's no XLR or other cables needed, just one cable. It's super basic and nice. And then on from that, I have my mic attached to this Rode boom arm. It's all the same company, Rode. And what's nice about this is it might make a little noise when I move it, but it's really adjustable and easy for whatever direction I need it on. Attached onto my boom arm, I have the Sabra-san shock mount, which when I'm moving and interviewing guests, they're on a remote location, so I'm also in my location. And any bumps on the table, I don't want that in my podcast. I could be drinking a glass of water and then set that down, and that's sounds that you don't want in your podcast. So the shock mount is nice because any bumps, it's kind of supported and mounted by these rubber bands, not rubber bands, but these elastic bands, and it eliminates those noises. Next up, a very important thing that every podcaster should have and every person should have is a nice set of pens. I have these pens by Joe Fellow, and these are super nice because I've never had to switch these out yet, except they do give you a couple ink cartridges in here, but whenever I'm taking notes on guests during an interview, if I want to jot something down, or when I'm searching new guests that are coming up in the future, I use these pens. And then next, this is actually a notebook that I hand out to every single guest who's on my podcast. It's a custom embroidered journal. It's a dotted journal by Leuchtturm, and it says Cameron Nagel, Starting Small. It's my logo. And then this is actually where I write all of my information on my guest. So in the directory here, I have their names and the page number, and then in correlation, I have also the facts about them that I may bring up into the podcast. Now, you may be asking, why is he using such nice notebooks and pens? That's pretty much because of organization. So if you're using a notebook from a grocery store or anywhere else, organization can be very difficult. And with these, the page numbers are there, the directory is there. It's very easy for me to locate my notes, because with podcasting, no matter how much time you spend, I'm not sure how much you spend or if you're a new podcaster, but personally on each guest, I spend about an hour to 2 on just researching the guest. So that's something I would like to warn you on is podcasting. If you want a successful and clear podcast for your listeners to listen to, it takes a lot of pre-time and lots of research. Next up, I have a hard drive. I use a LaCie hard drive. What this does, I plug it straight into my computer, and after podcast episodes are over or I'm finished with my recordings, I can put these right onto this LaCie hard drive and everything is safe. I don't want to download stuff right on my computer, because if the computer breaks down or anything gets damaged inside the computer, that means all of your episodes are gone. So on this hard drive, it's scary sometimes, but this hard drive holds all of my episodes and information for my podcast, and I make sure I keep it safe, and that's why I have a nice hard drive. The LaCie rugged hard drive, it's pretty much indestructible if you're being semi-careful with it, but that's why I use that LaCie hard drive, is to hold all of my podcast episodes. Next up, a pair of headphones or earbuds. Personally, I don't care about the quality, but I use these headphones for interviews. When I put these on, I plug my microphone into the laptop, and I hear my guest through these headphones. And what this does is no bleed through of the guest coming through my laptop can come through and hit the mic, because you don't want any feedback. So the headphones, their voice comes straight to my ears on here. I hear them, the microphone doesn't hear them, but it hears me. So that's exactly why you need headphones or earbuds for clear audio. Next up is this Roost laptop stand. So what this does, I'm spending many hours at my computer for either interviewing guests, doing the podcast, editing, whatever. I'm spending many hours here. So what's nice about this is you can have it elevated to your next level. This has nothing to do with the quality of the podcast, but this is just for overall satisfaction as the host. So I can sit, and it helps your posture when you're editing at many hours. You don't want your computer down here, because when the laptop's down here, your neck strains, and it's going to be hard to spend more time actually putting quality work into your podcast episodes. Now, lastly, I want to get into the software and my podcast host that I use. I'm not going to get into detail because I'm going to make that another video, but my software that I use, it's free, and that's why I like it. It's GarageBand. So you can plug this microphone straight into GarageBand, record my vocals on GarageBand, and then when I have a podcast guest, I have them on Zoom. The Zoom meeting, I have them in another tab, and I record their audio, and at the end of the episode, I link both of our audios and make an episode. And when having guests on your podcast, I would recommend them to use earbuds if they can. Most of the time, they're not going to have a software like this that they can record in, so it's totally fine. Record into Zoom for their audio. In a couple of circumstances, they may have a software when you can request to use that, and then it makes your audio sound much better. But it's important to use your audio through a software for your listeners, because you want that voice of your voice to be uniform. You want it to be nice and clear for your listener, or else you might not get too much retention for remaining episodes. Now, this video was very minimal. This is exactly what I use for my podcast setup. The gear, you can use more, you can use less. But if you like the sound of my podcast, the sound of this video right now, this is exactly the microphone I use, the setup, USB microphone going straight into my laptop. I'm going to leave links in the description, but just to let you know, this is not affiliate programming right now. I am not getting paid for this. This is just the gear that I personally use. I'm going to leave links, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any recommendations of what I should use or what you use, or any questions, please leave it in the comments. Again, thank you guys so much for listening to this video, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more.